Hi guys and gals out in YouTube land, it's Miss Beverly here with you this evening in Equestrian Newbies, bringing you a video to talk about Tack. When I purchased my horses a few months ago, I didn't have anything, I had nothing. I had no supplies, no nothing. And so we were starting completely fresh. Obviously you know that when you purchase horses, obviously the horse is the biggest expense. So I didn't have a lot of money to go buy some, $2,500, $3,000 brand new saddle. I had to figure out a way, thanks Ringo, to make it more of an affordable venture for my family. I'm a single working mom, and I just simply didn't have the funds to spend all that on Tack. So what's the alternative there? Well, if you don't have that money just flushing out of your pocket, sometimes you got to think outside the box. So what I did was I researched online, Google is my friend, and I just searched out used Tack and started looking at like used consignment shops, used Tack consignment stores and so forth in the area around Sacramento here where I live. And I found a used Tack store, which is amazing, called Little Bit Used Tack Shop. And I went there, and they had every kind of saddle imaginable, from Australian saddles, English saddles, jumping, full contact, dressage, you name it. Every type of Western saddle, trail saddle, barrel saddle, etc. And Ringo is knocking stuff down. And so it was an amazing experience. So I went in there, never bought a Western saddle, didn't know anything about Western Tack, anything about anything. And hush, sorry you guys. And so consequently, first couple saddles I got didn't fit. Just not the smartest move. So, I didn't know anything about full quarter horse bars versus semi-quarter horse bars versus blah, blah, blah. I had no idea. So, and I was an idiot and didn't think about asking about, return policy, right? I mean, it's a used store. I figured there wasn't one. But, actually, to share with you guys, when you're buying used Tack or saddles, or even new for that matter, definitely check the return policy. It turns out that I would have had, or did have, 2 days to take the saddle home, try it out on my horses, and if it didn't work out, I could have brought it back and got my money back. Right? So, consequently, I ended up having to take 2 saddles back there for them to resell, because they didn't end up fitting my horse. And I recently bought this one. This particular saddle, this is a Clyde Kennedy Equitation show saddle made by the Victor Saddle Company. Victor Saddle Company does not exist in this day and age. These saddles were made between the 60s and 70s. I estimate this saddle is somewhere between 45 and 50 years old. And it is in immaculate condition for that age. This saddle cost me $406. This is a 15.5 inch. You can see it does have the Equitation saddle here. It's a little bit bigger and fuller here in the front. This is part of the Equitation saddle seat itself. But actually it makes for a really comfortable ride as well. I brought this home. Basically all I did was... These guys are your friends. Saddle soap, saddle oil. When you buy a used saddle, you're more than likely going to have to put some elbow grease into cleaning it up. And that's exactly what I had to do here. However, I'll tell you this. I researched the saddle out online, on Google, and also on eBay. The cheapest Victor saddle that I was able to find was $900 used online. The saddle, actually this Victor saddle runs up to $5,500, and like I said, is not made anymore. They don't make them like this anymore, ladies and gents, and this is exactly why purchasing saddles like this from the used store is an amazing option if you are with limited funds and you still want something that's really quality. Now this saddle came with everything, and that's another thing to look at when you're purchasing used saddles. This one came with the latigo. It came with the rear cinch and all the straps, as well as obviously the stirrup straps, and off billet here. And then this is the rear cinch, which I'm going to just show you some of this hand tooling craftsmanship here. This is all original to this saddle. It's in immaculate condition for the age. So now this saddle was $406. The advantage to purchasing the saddle from the used store was that I could throw a little bit of money down, put it on layaway, and come back and buy it later. And that is a really amazing option if you don't just have hundreds of dollars to plunk down all at once. So, you know, great option here. And if you play it smart and do your research, you can find gems like this for little or nothing. This was an amazing buy. Now, one thing I didn't think about though. Yeah, you guys, yeah. It's heavy as hell. So if you are purchasing a used saddle, definitely pick it up. Definitely make sure it's something that you're able to handle and you can throw it around on your own. That is something I didn't look at with this. This is a full, like, wooden tree, super heavy, not a fiberglass tree like they have now. No, this is a full wooden tree. This saddle's like 50 years old, so that's why it still looks like this, right? In 50 years. I mean, it's damn near as old as I am. But I can't use this saddle unless my daughter's at home to help me chuck it over the back of the horses. Two bad shoulders from rotator cuff tears later, and this is not a viable option for riding out here by myself because I simply can't lift it independently over the back of my horse. So think about that. I'm going to show you another saddle here. I'm just going to move this one off the saddle stand. Okay, this is another saddle that I purchased from the used tack store. This saddle is, excuse it too, because the horses have knocked it down off the porch here a few times and chewed it. Thanks. But this is a Wintec full contact basic jumping saddle, English saddle. I also purchased this from the used tack store. However, it only was the saddle. I had to purchase the stirrup irons and the stirrup straps, the girth, everything was separate for this. This Wintec saddle is not leather. As you know, most of the Wintec saddles are all synthetic, or a lot of them are synthetic. So it was a cheaper saddle. I paid like $100 for this saddle. However, I purchased the new irons, or not new irons, but I purchased the irons and I purchased the new stirrup straps, which are leather, separately, and then put it all together, as well as the girth. So, essentially have maybe $150 no, probably closer to $200 after the stirrup straps. These are leather stirrup straps. They're really high quality. The stirrup irons are not very expensive. I think I paid like 15 bucks, 20 bucks for them. But all of it came from the used tack store. The only thing that wasn't used was the stirrup straps. And I just felt like I wanted brand new ones. I felt like they looked nicer. They just had this, made the saddle look newer and nicer. This tree is fully customizable. In other words, Tack sells pieces that you could put into the cantle here to kind of open it up and make it more like a full quarter horse if need be. This actually fits Ringo very well. Smoke is not an English horse, so I wouldn't use it on him anyway. I actually really like this saddle. It's very comfortable. It's no maintenance to this. You don't even need saddle soap. I mean, you could just use a wet washcloth and wipe it down. Obviously, the leather straps have been oiled and cleaned using regular saddle soap and neat oil. But overall, just a great purchase as well. Same thing from the used tack store. This particular saddle, like I said, was about $100, and then I just bought the pieces to go with it separately, coming up to probably somewhere around $200. Maybe just over that with the girth. I want to say the girth was about $30. It was used, of course, too. And just the stirrup straps were new, from the used store as well. Lots of options when you're purchasing from the used tack store. I'm going to come back and bring you another video in just a second, talking about the bridles and bits and things like that we've also purchased from there, to show you some of the other options and things that they do carry at the used store. And it really helped to make this horse venture, horse journey, affordable and reasonable for my family, to be able to enjoy the experience of horse ownership without being in the poorhouse. So please feel free to share below some of the options and things that you've done with your tack purchases for your animals. And stay tuned. I'm going to bring you this video in just a minute of the bridles and bits and other bits and pieces. And for now, it's Miss Beverly with Equestrian Newbies saying thank you so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. If you're new here, please comment and subscribe. And also share with me, like I said, some of the things that you've done to make your horse journey reasonable and affordable for your family. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Bye-bye.